Vegas Golden Knights lost the Stanley Cup final in their own building, Game 4 home ice, in front of their own fans. And the team hoisting the cup on their ice was Carolina. Let that sit for a second because Vegas doesn't lose like that. This is the franchise that trades for anybody, buries the cap in dead money, and just wins. That's the brand. That's 10 years of the villains of the league doing whatever it takes to get their guy. Except right now, the villains are broke, their goalie room is a disaster, and the exact goaltender who could fix all of it is about to land on the team that just beat them for the cup. That's the Vegas problem. And it's a lot uglier than one bad loss. Picture that final horn. Home crowd, gold jerseys everywhere, expecting a parade, and instead they're watching Carolina players pile on top of their own goalie at center ice, on Vegas's own logo. That image doesn't wash off in one off-season. Start with the crease, because that's where this whole thing falls apart. Adin Hill won them a Stanley Cup in 2023. Everybody remembers that run, the kind of goaltending that gets a guy a statue outside the building someday. 3 years later, he posted a .871 save percentage, 10 wins, benched for stretches under John Tortorella. And when Tortorella finally trotted him back out down the stretch, it barely went any better. Kelly McCrimmon, their GM, actually said it out loud all season. "I don't like our goaltending, but I like our goaltenders." That's a general manager admitting his crease was a problem while trying not to throw anybody under the bus.
It's really been an interesting year with our goaltending. I've said a few times, I don't love our goaltending, but I like our goaltenders. I think they need to be better. Aiden's won a Stanley Cup. He's a proven NHL player. I know that he can do it because I've seen him do it. Carter Hart, who made a really good impression in a short period of time, has been out of the lineup now for 3 months. We think he will be healthy in time to play regular season games. He was good when he played prior to getting injured, so I don't think we can have him as part of the reason that we're not happy with our goaltending. And Akira Schmid, we're fortunate to have had him because he's been a good backup for us, and he's played pretty well. So it needs to be better.
Then there's Carter Hart. Grabbed the net late in the year, started all 22 playoff games, looked like the guy going forward. Fine, except he's making $2 million. Hill's still owed 5 more years at $6.25 million, and Vegas doesn't have the room to just let that quietly sort itself out. So here's what they did instead, and this should make Vegas fans furious. Akira Schmid, the goalie who actually led this team in wins, save percentage, and shutouts this season, better numbers than Hill, better numbers than Hart, got a qualifying offer from Vegas on a Monday. Same day, hours later, they shipped him to Florida for a third-round pick in 2028. Their best goalie by the numbers, gone for a pick 2 drafts away. Subscribe now if you want to see how bad this actually gets, because we haven't even hit the ugly part yet. Vegas has 4 picks in this year's draft. Total. No first rounder in 2027, no second either. Years of trading futures for guys like Jack Eichel, Mitch Marner, and Thomas Hertl finally caught up with the cupboard. Stack a goalie logjam on top of that eating the cap, and Kelly McCrimmon is sitting on something like $4.5 million in space. That's before he even thinks about doing anything big. Smash that like button if you didn't realize Vegas was already this far out of magic beans, because it only gets worse from here. Here's why the timing is brutal. Sitting right there on the open market is the best goaltender alive, Connor Hellebuyck. Back-to-back Vezinas, a Hart Trophy as league MVP, Olympic gold with Team USA, and an $8.5 million cap hit that doesn't even look expensive anymore for what he is. Winnipeg missed the playoffs for the first time in years, and Hellebuyck didn't hide how he felt about it, called the whole season unacceptable. A guy who's used to winning stuck watching it all fall apart around him.
Discussion about the state of the team, individual team, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think these meetings are very important. You're looking at the future of the team, and what we did this year is unacceptable, and no one wants to be part of that. And where do we go from here, and what's the next step?
Every contender in the league wants him. Buffalo tried. Their package had Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, Jack Quinn, and a swap involving Buffalo's 4th overall pick. Winnipeg wanted that pick straight up, not a swap, and the whole thing died right there. Florida sniffed around too, but they weren't budging on Anton Lundell, so that one stalled before it even got going. And guess who's still circling? Carolina, the exact team that just beat Vegas for the Cup. Meanwhile, Vegas owner Bill Foley has been spending his summer chasing an NBA expansion team instead of fixing his goaltending. Priorities, apparently. The Hurricanes already tried once, offering defenseman Alexander Nikishin plus a late first-rounder. Word out of The Athletic was that it fell short. But here's the twist that makes this even juicier. Carolina just lost their own starter, Frederik Andersen, to Edmonton in free agency. Their current answer in net is Zach Sawchenko, a guy with barely any NHL games on his resume. That's a team that just won the whole thing, with a real hole in goal, still hunting the best goaltender on the planet. Insider Chris Johnston floated it point blank on his own show, Carolina circling back for Hellebuyck. He wasn't ruling it out. Neither am I.
Didn't get a lot done on July 1st, the day itself, but they were in on everything, it felt like, in terms of, potentially moving Alexander Nikishin, who's a restricted free agent defenseman for them. They traded for the rights to John Carlson, didn't ultimately get him signed, but we're trying to do that. They've been linked to Hellebuyck, and I wonder, is there some world where they circle back and, find a way to get that done? I think that's a possibility. Buffalo, we know, was engaged pretty deeply in talks with the Jets around the draft. Key part of that package at the time was a number 4 overall pick. Is there some sort of trade possibility those teams can put together, in with the draft in the rearview mirror? I think it's possible, but it's not a guarantee. And so
Winnipeg's GM, Kevin Cheveldayoff, signed Stuart Skinner as backup insurance and told reporters Connor Hellebuyck is a Winnipeg Jet and there's no update at this point.
Connor Hellebuyck is a Winnipeg Jet, and there's really no update at this point in time.
Bringing in Stu Skinner, does that allow you more flexibility, or does it have any kind of effect on those conversations when people have been reaching out?
Again, I'm not going to get into what kind of conversations I have with other managers or anything. Again, we had an opportunity to land our number 1 target, on a position that we needed to fill up, the box in, and just excited to have him as a Jet.
Sure. That's the same tune every GM sings right up until the trade call actually comes in. So picture the nightmare version of this offseason if you're a Vegas fan. Carolina, the team that just dethroned them on their own ice, lands the best goalie in hockey, on top of a roster that already won the Cup. And Vegas, the franchise built entirely on making exactly this kind of move happen for themselves. Can't even get in the room. No picks worth offering. No cap space to work with. The one goalie they had, who was actually outplaying everybody, just got shipped out for a middle round pick 2 drafts away. If you've been riding with the Golden Knights since 2017, drop a comment and tell me if you're worried yet, because I think you should be. Now, is it all doom? Not completely. Hill's a talented goaltender coming off one rough year, and McCrimmon himself has said as much. Alex Pietrangelo landing on long-term injury reserve frees up more cap room than it looks like on paper. And Hart could carry this whole thing if he plays next season the way he played this past April. None of that is nothing. But the model that built this dynasty, mortgage the picks, win now, worry about it later, only works while there's still something left to mortgage. Right now, there isn't much. For a decade, Vegas was the team every other GM feared calling because they'd always find a way to say yes to a big swing. This summer, they're the team that has to sit by the phone and hope somebody else says no to Carolina first. And the team standing in their way just got a real shot at getting even scarier. That's the Vegas problem, not one bad loss. A cupboard that's finally empty at the exact moment somebody else is about to get stronger. Let me know in the comments who you've got landing Hellebuyck and hit subscribe. The second this deal moves, we'll have it covered before anybody else does.